Bless up. Bless up. Give me a hell yeah.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know.
Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings, it's my favorite show. Do it for Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Hey. Do it for Deuce and Mo. When it comes to the Kings. Big hopes and dreams as we cover our kings. Never cover the kingdom, but we loving our kings. And we covered your prayers as we doing our thing. Big Deuce with the par, Lil Mo on the screen. Solo or together, still do it for team. Never switch up for $1 or revenue stream. So we always got each other, balance out the beam. Deuce and Mo, and that's the end of the theme song. Do it for Deuce and Mo.
We are live! Should the fog machine be out today for Sasha Vezenkov after his team is headed to the EuroLeague Championship? Woo! We just got done watching the Future King. How we doing?
What up, Deuce?
Hey.
Hello.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Oh, are you?
So much.
Let's go, Kane.
Yes, appreciate you guys hanging out with us with a special morning chat. We didn't really promote it ahead of time.
No.
Sorry, guys. We thought, you know what? We should be live after Sasha's game to react to what we saw, and we could talk some conference finals and look ahead to tonight's big game 2 in Boston. It's the Heat. It's the Celtics as America's team tries to take down the Boston Celtics. Morgan, how could you not? I could save it, but how could you not want to root for Miami now? I'm so pro Miami.
You know what's shocking about this is that I feel like you were not as pro Miami going into this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not at all. And then it gets to the playoffs. I'm like, this is why I love them. This is why I love them. Before we start, let's give some love to the people watching us live right now. I see the chat's popping. Let's give TC some love. What's up, Albert? Westside Kings fan. Jesus TC is in the building. Leandro, Swagman. Abraham. Swagman. Jake King, Clint, what is up? Sean says, playoff tattoo, coffee mug ready, California burrito ready, Deuce and Mo ready. Can Friday get any better? You know, honestly, it can't.
I mean,
Hell yeah.
it could.
A California burrito right now sounds so good. I hate that you even mentioned that. What's up, Curtis? Jose Gerardo, Yoshi, Aaron. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us on this random morning chat. I told Morgan that we may have to start sprinkling in some morning chats. Do a night chat and a morning chat. Night chat, morning chat. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, too, it's like this just totally makes sense.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So, yeah, let's not waste any more time. I'll let Morgan tweet everything out. If you have not yet, hit the thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribed because we are closing in on 12,000 subs.
Oh, my God.
12,000 subs. And that's big. You can also join and become a member We drop some member exclusive contests sometimes.
Or just
Like the other day, I held a contest for our YouTube members.
Yeah.
I said, predict who's going to win the lottery. And people made their predictions. And I chose one of the 4 people who got the answer right. They picked the Spurs. I put them in the drawing and they won a Deuce and Mo shirt. I do gimmicks like that, you know? And we'll drop like, hey, we're having this guest on, you know.
I love that no, that's true. I love that you call it gimmicks, even though it's like, oh, what's up, Carlin?
Let's give some love to Carlin, who is wide awake. Hey.
Our EuroLeague insider, Carlin, because he is French. Makes no sense. Get it, though?
Hey.
Get where I was going with that?
You have things to say?
Yeah.
I feel like you're like staring at the camera.
Talk.
What do you do if he just is like, yeah, what's up, Morgan?
You know, Sasha Vezenkov, I really like the
would you
way
do?
that. I mean, what do you mean? I would freak out?
I'd be so happy.
Big, we got that on camera.
I'd be so happy, though.
So stupid.
All right. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Let me check Twitch real fast. All right. What's up,
I'd
Twitch
be
people?
so happy.
Oh, my God. If I could talk to Carlin all the time.
Okay, wait. Quick. Kings did that on social media. Would you rather be able to speak every language or talk to animals?
Well, I think
Animals.
Keegan Murray's answer was animals.
Animals.
Yeah, I think animals. Be able to talk to every animal or speak every language.
No, not every. Okay, sure, every animal.
Wait. What was
Just
it?
talk to animals or speak every language.
100% talk to animals. Because
Correct.
if I was walking on a hike, I'm just walking up and I saw like
A bear.
a bear. I'd be like, hey, are we good? Because I'm just going to walk by.
And if he says no, then I'm not walking
If he's
by.
like, no, F you, let's go. I'm like, okay, we're out. Or we just communicate, hey, calm down. I'm not here to hurt you. I'm actually just walking by if you don't mind.
Wow, Deuce is just such a communicator. You full blown just went into that image in your head like, no. Hey, we're cool, right?
Hey, Snake, you're in the trail, but if I jump over, you're going to try to grab me and bite me or no? No, I'm not. You're safe here. Okay, good. That's what I want. 'Cause I don't care. And then communicate with pets would be cool, but other wild animals would be great. You see it?
The breakdown of this, I was not expecting at all. From wild animals to domestic animals. I was like, yeah, I never thought about it like that. I would just like to talk to my pet and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, why are you limping? Or, hey, why are you pooping so much? Like, does your tummy hurt? Or do I need to take you to the ER and spend $1,000 on you?
That's true. Curtis says, I wouldn't trust the snake. It's turning around regardless. Yeah. Then you have to deal with the fact that some of these, you can't trust some of these wild animals. They may lie to you.
Oh, I won't bite you.
Oh, man.
Stupid.
All
Please
right,
continue.
let's get this started. Deuce and Mo Morning Chat Edition. Coming out in 3. I have people doing snakes in the chat.
Tells kids. Katie. Oh, KD's. Okay.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Hit my music.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.
Hey, welcome into the Deuce and Mo podcast, a special morning edition. We're recording this 10 a.m. on a Friday for a morning chat after we just wrapped up watching a future king in action. Sasha Vezenkov in action in the EuroLeague Final Four, taking on AC Monaco, and his team won. We're talking about what we saw in his game as his team has advanced to the championship on Sunday. Also, we'll talk some conference finals. I'm Deuce Mason. That's Morgan Reagan. How you doing, Mo?
So good. So good.
A little weird doing this in the morning.
No, it's not.
I like
I
it.
don't even know why you say it. It's not even weird. It's what's fun about it is that, especially because we're so used to doing night chats where you're reacting after a game, we just watched some EuroLeague basketball at 8 a.m. and it's just so fun. We get to not only talk about what we saw in that game, obviously watching Sasha Vezenkov really close, but also what happened in the Western Conference Finals last night.
If you are watching a EuroLeague game at 8 a.m. on a Friday, because there's a potential future king out there. You are not a casual. You are hardcore. And that's when I realized we are peak nerdy basketball fans. Like,
Are
hey,
we?
it's okay. It's not a
No,
dig. It's just, that's a nerdy thing to do. And it's great. I loved that was a fun game to watch.
It felt very natural to watch basketball in the morning.
Now,
And
I guarantee you most people don't really care about the actual game. They want to know, how did Sasha Vezenkov look? He was named the EuroLeague MVP. We actually did an interview the other day with Liam McKinney, who is the EuroLeague commentator. He does play-by-play for them, for some of their broadcasts, including the ESPN version that is
so
streamed. And Liam was telling us about Sasha. So it was good to see him in a full game, in a meaningful game, a semifinal, which is crazy in the EuroLeague. They go playoffs, which is best of 5. Then it goes single elimination. So they advanced to the championship today. And Sasha, I thought, had a really strong game. He finished with 19 points, Morgan. He did that on pretty efficient shooting as well. Looking at the shooting numbers I'm pulling up here now, he was 7 of 14 shooting, 2 of 6 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He also added 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He played 35 of the 40 minutes in this game.
it's so funny. While we were watching the game, obviously his team, Olympiacos, were down in that second quarter going into the half. And Sasha was taken out halfway through the second, right? He played the whole first quarter and then played half of the second quarter. And I'm like, it's only a 40-minute game. Like, why don't they just play these guys the whole game? But you see the difference in EuroLeague. The pace is different. The timeouts are shorter. Everything is just a little bit more condensed. So it makes sense when they do get their breathers. But he did end up playing the whole second half, and they needed him to, because in that third quarter, it was so fun seeing what his team did. And it was a team effort. I think a lot of people were asking us, oh, did Sasha just kill it in that third quarter? How did they regain that lead? And really, it was what you saw from him and his squad was great defensive effort, team defense, great offensive effort, great offense, right? Just guys moving without the basketball. And I think that was one of the funnest things that we saw about Sasha was his high IQ, the way he moved without the basketball and knew where to move on the floor, whether it was baseline, dunker spot, or just a slip. It was just a fantastic, fun performance from him and the rest of the team.
Yeah, and we're EuroLeague casuals. It's not like we were watching Sasha last year in the Final Four, but I guess he had a rough Final Four, including a game winner in his face, which was tough. And so to see him bounce back, especially when his team struggled in the first half, they scored 29 points in the first half, but then they outscored Monaco, who also featured a former Kings player, Chima Monecki. Olympiacos outscored them 27-2
in the third.
In the third, 27-2. Yeah, I liked how Sasha played. I mean, I just watch him. I go, he's going to fit perfect. He is. For the style of ball that the Kings play.
Yeah.
To me, it's a seamless fit. He can shoot it. He could pass it off ball. He communicates. I was watching him a lot, of course, because that's what we were doing, just watching him for the most part.
Yeah. And
he's constantly communicating with his guys, getting them in the right spots, similar to what Sabonis does with Sacramento. He's a good passer. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how great of a player he's going to be. Is he what does that mean in terms of points per game or whatever?
Yeah.
What kind of role? I just think he can be a good role player for this team.
And seeing him, even with his bigger body, his ability to go up against a smaller guy, or even a big guy in the key, he was really just able to what is it called when two bodies are just whatever? When two bodies. He was very physical in the middle, and I was shocked offensively.
Did you have a joke? Were you trying to make a joke? Did I need the joke mic out? Or?
No. I don't even want to know what I was trying to say. I was just trying to talk about the physicality, and I wasn't expecting him to be so strong offensively. Like, he could hold his ground defensively against a bigger guy, but offensively, the way that he would pound in the key, it was really fun to see. And then I think you say how it could fit so seamlessly too. Everyone's wondering about his defense. Well, Olympiacos, they played really well in that, especially in that second half, when they played really good team defense. Everyone was on a string. And if you think about the Kings defense, they don't have these fantastic individual defenders. multiple of them. But when they're playing team defense and locked in, you saw what beautiful basketball could happen. And it just thinks someone like him, again, intelligent, high IQ player, would plug in perfectly like that.
Yeah, I think defense is probably the biggest question people have about his game, at least at this level. Of course, they play some zone defenses at times, but in pick and roll coverage today, he was showing, and I'm sure that was the game plan. I thought he recovered well. I don't think he ever really got embarrassed on defense in this game. And then you mentioned some of the switches. He had to battle Mona Yunus, who's a big dude, strong dude, has the size advantage on him. He was fronting him. He battled him. He was great at boxing out, tipping balls out. I thought he played with physicality and with an edge. I'm like, okay, I know that game, the EuroLeague, is a much more physical game than the NBA, but he looked like he could fit well.
Yeah, and I think it just seeing the discipline, right? Like even when he would come up on a guard to double, show his jersey, and get on back to his guy, it was like the effort, the quickness was there. And I enjoyed watching him as an individual today, but I really enjoyed watching EuroLeague basketball. I mean, it was the crowd was in it and fun.
The crowd was awesome. I wish we could have some of that in the NBA in the playoffs. Just that type of atmosphere with the chants and stuff.
Well, I am going to propose 3 different chants going into this Kings season that I think we should be using.
You already have 3 chants ready.
No, but I'm going to make them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some of them have to be like a little bit of a song, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be like light the beam. I mean, that's just like a hooray chant. It's not going to be Keegan Murray. Those are all done. It has to be a little bit of a flow, a little bit of a song. And I'll come up with 3 different ones that are like each 10 to 15 seconds.
I'm about it. Now you got to spread the word, get everyone invested in it. 18,000 people have to do it at the game.
That's what I'm saying.
Is it just going to be them singing "Shut Up and Light the Beam"? Is that one of them?
Yeah. How cool would that be if that was just like the
Actually, that'd be really
Shut
cool.
up and
That
light
would be
the
really
beam.
That would be really cool.
And then they just sing the chorus.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Let's get to the chat. Johnny Do It saying, scoring 2 points in a quarter as a team is so nasty. Yeah, it was rough. Curtis says he has good length for his size, right? Yes, he does have good length for his size. I just don't really have a doubt that he's going to fit well because it's not like he is a guy that needs the ball in his hand to be effective. Like, he can make plays. He moves well. He's smart, high IQ. I'm like, I see why the Kings want to bring him over.
Yeah.
You know, it's, to me, best case for him, he's your starting 4.
Best case. Okay.
Worst case, he's
Coming
a role
off
player
the
off your bench.
Yeah.
I think he's going to help the team no matter what. That's my point.
Yeah.
And I just look at him with the size, the shoot, such a quick release.
Oh my gosh. Quick release. And, you know, even when he was missing some of his threes, you could hear the commentators were just like, oh, that's usually like automatic for him. You know, they're used to seeing him make so many shots. I mean, he was the MVP, you know, and something else that I thought was interesting, again, EuroLeague cash, the pace of the game and seeing the way that they try to set up in a half court offense so many times. But if you're forced to push and run and those transition threes come up, that transition basketball come up, I just think he's a smart player that he will be able to adapt, adjust. And I'm excited for it.
Well, bring him over.
Yeah.
We
bring
should
him
know
over.
that Kings associate head coach Jordy Fernandez, who's a coaching candidate for, it seems like a couple of jobs now, a head coaching candidate. He was over there watching him. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I think he's coming over. I'd be shocked if he didn't. And we'll obviously have coverage of what Sasha does in the championship. They play on Sunday, the winner of the Barcelona Real Madrid game.
Everyone that hasn't, make sure to join us on playback because that's how we watch the game at 8 a.m. And we just watched it with everyone else that wanted to join in and watch it with us. So we will be watching that finals game on playback again. So make sure you join us there.
Ball Junkie says Sasha was impressive without even realizing the dude got 19 points.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I feel like I realized it because I was watching every one of his movements. I was like, hey, Morgan, look at him point there. That was such a good point. Great communication. She's like, oh, that's just basketball, dude. Settle down.
Literally every single thing. Wow, what a leader. What a leader on the floor. Look at the way that he's talking. Yeah, he should be talking good.
Oh, he's going to be a great fit with Sacramento. And I just think about how that is going to open up this Kings offense even more.
I know. I mean, you want to add shooting. It's the perfect situation for the Kings to add a shooter to their squad. But I love the mentality of the EuroLeague. It's like you play team basketball, disciplined team basketball. And that is what Mike Brown and his standards are with the Sacramento Kings. So it just feels like it's an effortless fit for Sasha and for the Sacramento Kings.
Adam says, any reason you see this guy not coming over next year? I believe what the Kings did this year and also in the playoffs has to help his desire to come right. Why would he not want to join this team? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this is the time for him, right? He's in the perfect age, right? 27, 28 years old. He's playing at a high level, ready for a new challenge. And why wouldn't you want to join a team that plays a style that you can just fit in with right away on a good team with talented 2 All-NBA guys, a team that was number 3 in the West, a great head coach? It seems like it's the perfect fit. But again, you're asking a guy to change his life completely. Come move to the United States. Go to somewhere you've never lived before. Play in a league you've never played in before. There have been other examples of players who maybe have come over expecting bigger roles, and they come here and it doesn't exactly work. Someone in their chat was mentioning when Bielitsa came over and played with Minnesota, it just didn't seem like they were using his skills appropriately for what type of player he was. And it took him a while to find a home in the NBA and get some legit playing time to show his game. I don't think that would be a concern for Sasha because of Sacramento's style.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think, some of the other points are like, some people are happy being the big fish in a small pond.
Sure.
Absolutely. And like, the league MVP, right? Like there's so much to it where he's going to be in a whole different role. But I mean, from everything, not only that we've seen with him, but talking to Liam Canny, one of the EuroLeague broadcasters, just saying that he's one of the most humble guys, so it seems like there's no ego there too. So think about it. If he was MVP of this league and wins a championship.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Next challenge is the NBA.
There you go.
Go make some money in the NBA, play on a good team, and see what you can do here. I just look at his quick release and I go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Rain 3, Sacramento.
Yep.
Rain 3s.
Sacramento would instantly make this guy feel loved, says Adam. Less culture shock than the bigger cities. Let's go, Sasha. I mean, yeah, we can even point out those fun little things, right? Being in the smaller market, not going to like New York or LA, and and you have this type of crowd. I mean, he's used to a loud ass crowd, so that would fit as well.
I just think you just have to have realistic expectations too. I'm not expecting Sasha to come over and be the next Peja Stojakovic.
No.
Can this guy be a player that can come in, use his size and high basketball IQ and knock down some shots? That can help the team. Even Bojack in the background's barking like yes, I agree, Deuce. He's got that dog in him. Mm-hmm. So that's what I look at. I'm not going, hey, this guy is going to change everything in Sacramento. I just think it makes the offense much more dynamic. The more shooting, the better. You have his rights. Bring him on over.
Love it.
A couple other Kings things I wanted to get to real fast, Morgan.
Yeah.
JJ Redick had Kevin Huerter on his podcast.
I know.
And a topic got brought up that was interesting. How long do you keep doing the beam? Last year, it was a perfect year for the beam, right? We all connected, light the beam. After a win, player comes out, does a ceremonial light the beam button, beams shot up in the air, everyone loses their mind. And I think JJ's point of it is like at some point you just expect winning. Maybe you stop doing that. Do you think that beam ever goes away? I have thoughts.
Oh, okay. Let's get to your thoughts first then.
I think the beam needs to live forever.
Aww.
But maybe and I think it's up to the players too and coaches.
Okay.
If the players don't want to do it because it's like, no, this is what we do, we win. Maybe it's as simple as this. The beam gets lit on wins.
Do you know, I was thinking that same thing. Like, no one needs to push a button. There doesn't need to be a whole ceremony thing.
Or maybe you let a fan do it every once in a while, or something like that. It doesn't have to be as big, But if the players are like, hey, we expect winning. I get why a player would not want to like hit a beam for game 8 win in the regular season against Charlotte.
Right. And so like if they pass that along to the fans, and like the Kings do a good job of picking season ticket holders or whoever else, it just makes sense. I think that would be a great a great bit and a great way to still have it be special without it ever being tacky that like players are doing it after like, hey, we started the season 0-10 and we got that first win on the 11th one. It's like, oof.
Or if you even want to take away the whole ceremony of it and just light it. It's like, oh, the beam's lit. They won.
Yep.
That's great. We still want to light the beam.
The city knows that they won. I love it. I love it.
So that's how I look at it. You know,
I think that's
the beam should never die. I think it's a cool thing for this city. I think it literally, we live here and you talk to people around the city, people who aren't basketball fans going, oh, the Kings won tonight.
Yeah.
It keeps people aware.
I mean,
it's a community thing.
You go into like the Sacramento Co-op and all of their aisles with the, at checkout, they have all their numbers and they're all purple lights now. Instead of, it's just like the beam lives on. The beam is part of our city and it needs to be here, but absolutely you can make adjustments with how the team wants to go about it.
Yeah. The beam needs to live on forever.
Forever.
It could change how it's done, live on forever. The other thing that came out of that podcast, which isn't totally a surprise, Morgan, Kevin Huerter was just talking about Mike Brown and how Mike Brown coached them, how hard he coached them, but he was making the point that he coached De'Aaron harder than anyone, and that's kind of what allowed Mike to have success in his mind. Here's Kevin Huerter on Old Man and the Three talking about Mike Brown.
I don't know how many coaches in the NBA are still like him in terms of how hard they coach and how much they demand from you as a team and as a player. And for me, one of the more eye-opening things at the start of the year and why I think he was able to coach so hard is how tough he was on De'Aaron. And so we would be in film sessions or on the court, and he held Foxy to a higher standard than everybody else. And that was behind closed doors. Like that was in front of the team. We're watching film. He's calling him out. We're on the court. He's stopping plays. Like he demanded so much out of Fox that when he get on other guys, it was like, hey, if he's getting on Foxy and Domas the same way he's getting on 13th, 14th guy, like you have no choice but to listen to him, take his coaching, and you don't really have a response to him. And so I think the best thing he did was he established that. Fox allowed him to coach him as hard as he did.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's, and that goes for, you think about that with any workplace, anywhere, right? It's like your leadership needs to treat everybody equally, and especially when there's people that are at the top, they got to be held to the same standards. And what you just love to hear is that they're even held to a higher standard like that, because it's just going to trickle down and make everybody better. And that's what it did for the Kings this season.
Cool to see Huerter on JJ's podcast.
I loved it, and I loved seeing what he did with JJ's producer, Jason Gallagher. They had this whole little thing in the bakery, just quick questionnaire, and a couple of the first things that were asked were like, why does JJ Redick hate the Kings? That was hilarious. And then Jason also asked Kevin Huerter what his go-to pickup line was. And
he said, this is it, Country Road.
And then Jason Gallagher was like, what? What's the pickup line there? And he goes, what comes after Country Road? What comes after Country Road, Deuce?
Take me home.
That's what she's supposed to say.
A place
I belong, West Virginia, Oklahoma,
no, Sacramento,
take me home, Country Roads. You didn't even know that line.
I don't. I just know that part. Country Road.
Yeah, no.
Great song.
Yeah, but not a great pickup line, especially if you don't know
Mountain
the
Mama.
song. Oh, Mountain Mama.
Yeah.
What did I say? Oklahoma?
Yes. Yeah, Oklahoma.
Not my karaoke song.
Oh, my goodness. Western Conference Finals last night. I know we did a quick recap after the game, but it was interesting. The aftermath of the Jamal Murray fourth quarter. 23 of his 37 points came in the fourth quarter. Nuggets take a 2-0 series lead. Michael Malone is on one right now. He is first team all chippiness. Did you hear some of his comments after the game last night?
I saw one quote and I was like,
he's got the biggest chip ever. Here's what Michael Malone had to say after the game.
A lot of our guys, to be honest, they may not admit this or not. You win game one of the playoffs, and all everybody talked about was the Lakers. Let's be honest. That was a national narrative was, hey, the Lakers are fine. They're down 1-0, but they figured something out. No one talked about Nikola just had a historic performance. He's got 13 triple-doubles now, third all-time. What he's doing is just incredible, but the narrative wasn't about the Nuggets. The narrative wasn't about Nikola. The narrative is about the Lakers and their adjustments. So, you put that in your pipe, you smoke it, and you come back, and you know what? We're going to go up 2-0.
You put that in your pipe,
Dude.
you smoke it, and we're going to go up 2-0.
I love that.
Love it.
Shit.
Love it.
Dude.
And he's not wrong.
Okay, computer, can you stop doing updates? Like, what is happening? I just hate that noise.
Well, can you just...
In the middle? No.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah, I love that comment. I love that. And he finds ways to fuel himself and his teams. Like, no, they don't respect you.
He's not wrong either.
Yeah.
And after that game one, I think we all remember. I mean, we were talking about it a lot. Obviously, what Rui Hachimura did to alter Jokic's game and kind of screw with Denver's offense. And we were just talking about, though, how the Nuggets will adjust in game two. And I think a lot of people's narrative was, though, like, this is just what the Lakers need to do to win the rest of the games. And Michael Malone's like, what the shit, guys? Like, you just saw Jokic out there having an incredible performance. Jamal Murray had a good game coming off that illness. But then in game two, again, Jamal Murray, I mean, all the love to him, and not even all game long, really just in that fourth quarter.
He fought through some big-time struggles. He was not good. Here's what Michael Malone had to say about him after the game last night.
It's going to be nights or quarters for Jamal. It could be a quarter, could be a half, could be 3 quarters where your shot's not going. But in the playoffs, you can't be a specialist. Specialists don't play in the playoffs. Oof. You got to find a way to impact the game. And he did that tonight. And he understands that. And, we all know one thing about Jamal, man. Like, he just has to see one go in. He got a little mid-range pull-up to go in, kind of looked up to the heavens, and that's all he needs. And after that, he's shooting into a hula hoop. So I'm proud of him. But that's the challenge. My challenge to Jamal is don't be just a scorer. He's going to be an all-star in this league. And for him to do that, it's got to be scoring, playmaking, rebounding, defending every single night. And he has that within him.
He had 10 rebounds in that game. He had 5 assists. He had 4 steals. You can't be a specialist. And it's true. I don't know. Some people viewed that as maybe Malone was taking a shot at maybe like a Jared Vanderbilt. You start hearing the noise about these players.
Yeah.
They're lockdown defenders. Dude, Jared Vanderbilt got the start. He played 16 minutes, and they're like, we can't keep playing him because of the spacing. And in this league, if you are just one thing, it may work in a regular season for stretches, but in the playoffs, they're going to expose every one of your weaknesses.
And Michael Malone talked about how Jamal Murray had that first shot go in and then looked up to the heavens and was like, all right, let's go. I noticed not only when that first shot really fell or another shot fell in that fourth quarter to kind of get things going, it helped him in his energy and his body language on the defensive end. So then once he started playing more lockdown defense, he had 2 of those 4 steals in the fourth quarter, right? When it matters most. And he was playing lockdown defense there, and you could feel his guys rally behind him. It helped the energy of everybody. Okay, Jamal Murray now is going off. Boom, Bruce Brown hitting a big 3. Michael Porter Jr. hitting a big 3. Big defensive plays. Good, better team defense from this Nugget squad. And it was just great mental adjustments from these guys.
Dude, you got to fight through the fatigue, fight through the missed shots.
Fatigue.
And keep playing. And they kept it close enough because Jokic is just playing he's playing like the best player in basketball right now.
Insane.
I think that's not unfair to say. He is playing at such an elite level that he kept his team in it yesterday.
And I think defensively, he's not even getting the pure credit that he deserves, because there's moments where I see him sluggish, like trying to help and stay with a guard. And it's like, goes right by him because he's fatigued and he's tired. But then there's other times in this game where he's just battling through with AD. I mean, look what AD ended up with in this game. It just wasn't the best Anthony Davis game. He wasn't producing like the Lakers needed him to produce. And you got to give love to the way that Jokic was battling with him down low.
And the biggest concern for the Lakers going forward is LeBron's ankle. I know he's been fighting through it. He still had moments last night where you went, oh, God, this guy's a freak, nearing a triple-double. He really was doing a good job of attacking. But then you could tell the ankle may be bugging him, the fatigue factor playing a role. a little bit as he had to deal with Jokic at times in this game. He started settling from threes, and he was 0 for 6 from downtown. It kills me seeing LeBron shoot those, so many of those. You settle so much when they didn't seem to have an answer. But at the same time, I think he's doing what his body is allowing him to do at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, it's tough. I mean, you look at just the ankle alone and it's like, how can you be that much more explosive when your ankle's bad, right? But even before he stepped on AD's foot toward the end of the game, it was like he was going to the basket and he was so effective, so aggressive. Just no one could even stand in his way. But then he started missing some of those layups. Then he kind of fumbled that ball in transition when he was going to go up for that dunk. And those are just little mental mistakes. And everyone looked fatigued, dead in that game last night. It's because the Nuggets were doing a pretty good job these first two games pushing the shit out of the ball. But then the Lakers really slowed down the Nuggets offense and put them in a half court and did a much better job locking them down.
We're going to look ahead to game number 2, Celtics Heat, in just a second, but we should mention that today's podcast presented by Joey Reagan over at Lion Real Estate. If you're looking for a house, you need to hit up Joey Reagan.
Yeah.
He knows the Sacramento area. He's helped our podcast listeners before, and he'd love to help you on your search for your dream house. Even if you're not in the Sacramento area, he can help you out or guide you to the person who can help you out. Morgan, why should people work with Joey?
I mean, he's just easy to work with, and he's helped so many people, especially over these last couple of months, buying and selling their home. And I think sometimes people too think, is this the right time? What should I do? Well, Joey will be honest with you, and he will tell you exactly what you need to do and what you're looking for. He can help you as long as you give him all the descriptions that you have.
Get in contact with him. Go to his website, jreagan.golion.com. That's jreagan.golion.com. You can also call or text him at 916-412-4592. That's 916-412-4592. License number 0212-8070. Appreciate everyone's support of the Deuce and Mo podcast. Game 2, Morgan, Eastern Conference Finals tonight. Miami with a 1-0 series lead, trying to go up 2-0 in Boston tonight. I can't wait for this game. Jimmy Butler has been playing like a man possessed. I heard Ryan Russillo talk about this yesterday. I found it intriguing. So many players get shit on for not winning a ring in this whole ring culture era, but it seems like Jimmy Butler's in his own category. He hasn't won a ring, but everyone seems to love him because he does it differently. He plays hard. He doesn't play on teams that you go, oh, they have the most talent ever. It's a team thing. He plays with an edge. He's clutch. There's a lot to like about Jimmy Butler as a player. And last game, he was epic. He's been epic in the playoffs.
He's been epic in the playoffs. And what's wild about it, it's been on both ends of the floor, right? I mean, his aggressive play on the defensive end with just his activity and then his ability to still find his spots and score on the offensive end and play make on the offensive end. You know, like for a guy that has just this star power or aura about him, you don't feel like he acts like that with his teammates. You always feel like he's going to include everyone. There's just that standard in Miami, the culture that we already know, that we talk about all the damn time. But it really is something special, especially when you see a team like this have the success that they have, and they have so many undrafted guys that are playing some big minutes and making an impact. It's just, it's been fun to watch.
So in the regular season, Jimmy Butler averaged 23 points per game. In the playoffs, he's averaging 31.5 points a game, 6.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 2 steals. He's doing on 52% shooting, 37% from three-point land. He's getting to the free throw line a ton, double-digit free throw attempts, averaging 10 free throw attempts per game, shooting at an 80% clip. He is one of those guys that just thrives in the playoffs. And it's fun. I'd love to see them go up 2-0. I don't think it's going to happen. Miami shot the ball really well.
Yes.
I'm not sure I expect the same here in game 2. They knocked down 16 of 31 from 3 in game 1.
Even scoring. even scoring.
It was
from,
such great balance.
I mean, Kyle Lowry came in early in that game and was knocking down shots. And then you saw toward the end of the game, it was Strus that was knocking down some of the big shots. 15 from Strus, 15 from Vincent, 15 from Caleb Martin, 15 from Lowry. It was, just that even scoring. You got to see another big game from Bam. But going to the Celtics side, what a disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, Jason Tatum had the 6 free throw attempts, I believe, in the fourth, but he had those 3 big turnovers, did not take a field goal. It was rough. They looked kind of out of whack, especially late in the game. I'm curious if they would think about making a lineup change and put Derek White in the starting lineup and bring Robert Williams off the bench. I just think that they go hunting so much on Robert Williams, and Rob is obviously very impactful, but Jimmy Butler was looking for him a lot. I would obviously still play Rob Williams, but it's not like he have tremendous size, right? It's Bam. So Horford can handle that and just go a little smaller and be even more switchable. So you play your guy, Derek White, who, by the way, on the all-defensive team, start him and play him.
Yeah, I think that adjustment's a good adjustment, and I also think from Jason Tatum, who still had a 30-point game, I think there was just so many inconsistent moments there at the end where it was like his confidence was lost or whatever it was. Those turnovers were so costly and awful and did not look good. But the narrative around him sometimes is the consistency from him. He looks like a superstar at times, and then he looks like, what are you doing? And at the end of a game, he needs to not only take over, but taking over doesn't mean that you're just taking the shots. Taking over could be you creating some of the best shots for your other teammates, and he's capable of doing that. And even if it's Derek White in the corner for a 3, it doesn't matter. Like, get it to him. Create. Be that threat.
It's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Playoff basketball's been fun.
It's been so
I wish the Kings
fun.
were still in it, but I've enjoyed the ride.
I know. So, yeah.
We're going to be not live. We're going to drop content again tonight. For those who are listening later or those watching us live, make sure to check our page out because we're dropping content every single day. Even when we're not live, we're dropping something, whether it's reacting to news or reacting to a game that just happened. Once the game's over, we hop in here and we give our thoughts for about, 15 minutes.
I mean, it depends. That first game with the Nuggets and Lakers, it ended up being like 40 because it was just like we were just shooting the shit, having fun. So make sure too, if you guys are subscribed to the page and you want to know every single time we have a video, you can click your notifications on, so then it always pops up for you too.
Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for a bit. We love you guys, but we got to go.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo, Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know. Deuce and Mo.